Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, let me get done fastening this seatbelt. I wanted to ask the question of whether today's black men in the U.S. are at a disadvantage when it comes to the modern dating market. And this is on behalf of how so many black women, specifically in the U.S., have gone to social media and still are going to social media until this day, saying how they want nothing to do with, as they would put it, a quote-unquote broke man. And the reason I put broke in quotations is due to how they never really specify, for the most part, on what they mean by usually how they don't want to deal when dating a quote-unquote broke man. As a matter of fact, I was reading a study just the other day, and this was based upon last year for July of 2024. The average net worth of a black man in America or the U.S. alone happened to be only $44,000. I believe $44,900, whereas the median net worth of a black man, or the most a black man was able to make around that particular time frame, happened to be only $200,000 max, or at tops, for their yearly net worth. And this is on behalf of so many of you women who always are wanting these high value men, these men who have to make at least $100,000 at the minimum, and I would say $400,000 at the max, in some cases more than that. You same delusional women who go on the Kendra G show over and over desiring this top earning black man, but yet it's still the average black man in the U.S. alone, ladies, I'm talking about sisters, makes no more than, you, I would say, at tops, for his, I guess you could say, median income, or income, his net worth on the low end, to put it that way, is usually no more than $49,000 a year. Yet and still, you keep on desiring these types of men. One reason why I would say is because a whole lot of you like to live above your means. On top of that, a lot of you have so high and unrealistic dating standards and expectations, to the point where you feel like men who may meet those certain income brackets or thresholds are more important, that how they have more to offer you. How you also consider them as more valuable in a dating market, only to end up finding those types of men, ladies. And every now and then, some of you may happen to look up in the dating market, as I would say, and meet those men, those same exact men, high earning black men that you desire. And even better for some of you who may be with a man that is a top earner, such as an athlete, a sports athlete, it never fails. The man is always the types of men is what I'm trying to say, who can't be faithful to one woman. Why? Because his mindset is usually due to him being so successful career-wise, he doesn't have to be committed to only one woman. And thanks for joining this live, the two people who I see have joined. This is also on behalf of a lot of you women who wonder. I'm using my phone, hold on, because my phone came down. Let me tighten up my phone. This is on behalf of you women who also wonder, why is it so hard for you to earn a high value man, as in how the late Kevin Samuels would put it, a man who may have to earn at least $100,000 a year for his average net worth. This is for you women who have such high realistic and dating standards, most of you come with so much baggage, quote unquote baggage user too, as in the form of a lot of you always have kids from previous relationships, or in some instances even may have kids as a result of you being divorced by another man, or in most cases men. Because let's face it, most of you nowadays, most of you modern women, I'm talking about you women in the 20s, the 20-year-old age bracket, 20-something-year-old age bracket, 30-something-year-old age bracket, 40-something-year-old age bracket. Most of you don't believe in having your kids when you have multiple kids by just one man, but yet and still you feel like you desire this high value man who you may meet and may usually, quote unquote, sweep you off your feet. I'm so tired of this dash mount coming down, and I'm trying to drive at the same time, but I'm holding my phone while I'm driving. You women are so delusional. A lot of you modern day women within the 20-something, 30-something, 40-year-old age bracket, to the point where a lot of you will never ever be able to find that high value man. And due to how so many of you always pick some of the worst men who you could find, men who are so abusive, very abusive towards you, men who are always in the streets, you know, men by the likes of a Dirty D. Rotlick, or where Dirty D, let me just go on and say a word, a Dirty Dick Rotnick, men by the likes of a Octavius, men by the likes of a Pookie, those types of men, you choose to usually spread your legs open, get pregnant by those types of men, but yet and still, when things go left, so to speak, whenever that guy who may end up getting you pregnant after you spread your legs open and get pregnant by some of the most worst calibers of men you can find, that's when all of a sudden you want this guy who in other time you consider a lame, in other time you would consider as too boring for you, not having enough swag. This is the main problem with the Black American community at that, due to the simple fact of how so many, I do mean so many of you sisters always want that high value, top earning man after you've been ran through, after you've been not only after you have had kids by a man who means you no good, you know, by the likes of the neighborhood drug dealer. Some of us call them nowadays a neighborhood plug. What are you talking about? I just got in your chat. I'm talking about Kamandi, if I'm saying your name correctly. And excuse me for how my phone keep coming down. I should have wet my phone. I'm talking about whether men broke, quote unquote, broke black men are in a disadvantage when it comes to the dating market. That's what I'm talking about. And if you want to voice your opinion on whether you may think either yes or no, feel free to do so. Nandi, excuse me for mispronouncing your name, Nandi Nicole. But I just can't help but to wonder about this. If broke black men, so to speak, are really at a disadvantage in the modern dating market. But yet and still, a lot of you, and this is what also baffles me, a lot of you women who go on shows such as the Ask Kendrick, hey, how's it going, Cod or Cade, however you're saying you pronounce your name. This is what also baffles me. So many of you women always claiming that you can't get with a man unless he's a top earner, unless he may earn 6 figures on average a year. But yet it's still some of you same women use a set for guys having kids by guys who can't even much, quote unquote, rub 2 nickels together. A lot of you women who may have the nerve to go on shows by the likes of the Kendra G Show, one of the most popular dating shows that's been airing for the past few years. I'm from Birmingham, DK, and thanks for joining the chat. Yeah, I'm from Birmingham, Alabama. You same types of sisters though who will go out of your ways, go on to the Kendra G Show, and are always desiring a high value man who has to make at least $100,000 for the minimum a year for his yearly median net worth. Yet and still, some of you same sisters may have a guy in your house who you're taking care of while you're on the Kendra G show claiming that you want this high earning man, this high value man, as the late Kevin Samuels would put it. This is what I'll never be able to understand. Well, in a sense, I can understand it because, like I said earlier, so many of you are such gold diggers to the point where you like to live above your means. And not only that, but a lot of you like to be able to live likes of luxury by being able to have the opportunities to be taking on lavish trips on a yearly basis, being able to fly first class flights on a yearly basis. And I kind of see why some of you settle for men outside of your race, specifically white men, due to the simple fact of how white men, besides being number two as a rank amongst the ranking of high earners, okay, come 90, that's what's up, yo, from South Africa. Okay, I wouldn't mind visiting Africa one day in the near future. But a lot of you, I see why so many of you sisters, well, some of you sisters believe in settling for white men as more potentially being able to match with you in the dating market, due to how you look at white men as more successful financially, when according to statistics and studies, Asian men, even Asian American men, are out earning white American men. All you have to do, if you don't believe me, folks, is just look up the top earning men in the nation, in the U.S. out of all the ethnic groups. Asian American men are number one. Behind that are white American men, and number three, I believe, would be black American men. But I just can't help but to wonder, are broke black men more so at a disadvantage in today's dating market? What do some of you think who may be joining this live stream? Do you feel like they are? Because I seem to think, I happen to kind of think they are, but yet and still, I don't do the how so many sisters always are going for guys who cannot financially provide for them, guys who beat on them on a regular basis, guys who always run the streets, guys who have nothing to offer to them but good pipe and street swag for the most part. Guys who they don't mind taking care of. And I'm talking about some of the most successful sisters, some of the most successful black women that you could find. Some who happen to be nurses, a few of them who happen to be doctors, who happen to be supervisors, who happen to be professors. These are the types of sisters, in some cases, who don't want a high earning and successful black man, but yet still will go out of their race in the same breath and settle for a non-black man who's a top earner and successful. It's like so many of you sisters always are typecasting us brothers, and I kind of see why black men are at the bottom of the totem pole, so to speak, when it comes to being one of the least financially successful groups of men alone in the U.S. due to how a lot of you black women, a lot of you sisters stagnate our potential from achieving greater in life. Otherwise, the prisons wouldn't be so flooded when so many brothers, when so many black men, what do you know, now we make up behind white men, because let's not forget, it's quite a bit of them in the prisons as well, incarcerated in the prisons as well. We are number two on the list of some of the most incarcerated groups of men. And one reason why so many black men still and excuse me for stumbling across my words, still refuse to accept that reality that is so many prisons filled with mostly us brothers, is due to the simple fact of how most black women don't want a man who's a man who may be a man that may make a great husband, great father. So many of them always want the jerks. So many of them always want the hood guys. Due to so many of them, when no matter how much older they get, black women, because there's some in their 50s, 60s, 70s who still can't get over swag, still can't get over guys who are hood, act like they can't get with a guy unless he has so much street credibility, so much street swag. These are some of the reasons why I feel like black men, in a sense, are at a disadvantage. Broke black men, so to speak, are at a financial disadvantage when it comes to the modern dating market. Anyways, because I already have expressed myself enough and said a mouthful, make sure to like, share, comment, last but not least, subscribe to the channel. And until next time, I'm out.